Today I'm going to be reading a story called Safe Haven. It's a story about the friendship between a little Welsh dragon called Tarian and his friend Tal the duck. In the story, Tarian and Tal learn just how important it is to speak to a trusted adult when they feel worried and sad about something. Tarian's Tale. Tarian the dragon jumped up and down with excitement. He was so excited you could see little puffs of smoke escaping from his scales. Tarian and Tal the duck were best friends, and Tal was coming to tea. Tarian and Tal loved playing together. They played their favourite games and had lots of fun. After tea, Tal's mum came to pick him up. Tal asked if he could stay just a little bit longer, but his mum said a little crossly, "Come on, Tal, time to go home." Next day in school, Tarian hung up his coat. His peg had a picture of a huge castle. Tal's peg had a picture of a yummy ice cream. Tarian looked out to the yard to see if he could see Tal coming. Sure enough, there was Tal waving goodbye to his mum. "Come on," called Tarian. "Let's play." Tal joined in a game of who can buzz like a bee the loudest, until Mrs. Cadwallader asked the children to get ready for circle time. Tarian and Tal always sat next to each other in the big circle. They often talked about feelings and the things that made them happy or sad and the fun things they did together. When it was his turn, Tarian told Mrs. Cadwallader that he felt very sunny today. He and his parents were planning a trip to Big Pit to see the coal mine. Mrs. Cadwallader asked Tal if he wanted to say something, but he just looked away. He didn't seem very happy. After lots of crunchy leek sandwiches for dinner, Tarian rushed out to play. "Let's play ball," he called, laughing. Tal looked very sad. He turned and ran back into the classroom. Tarian was worried about his friend. He went to ask him what was wrong. Tal said, "I don't feel very sunny at all. I feel like a little black cloud." Tarian was not sure what to do. He decided to stay with his friend until Mrs. Cadwallader came back. Next day, Tal didn't come to school. Mrs. Cadwallader said he had a bad tummy, but that she was sure he would be okay to come to school the next day. Tarian wanted to help Tal feel better, so he asked his mum if they could call at Tal's house on the way home from school. He had drawn a picture especially for Tal and really wanted to give it to him. Tarian knocked on the door and waited. He waited a long time, but no one came to answer the door. He was sure he could hear grown-ups shouting. It made him feel a little scared, but his mum said, "Let's just pop your picture through the letterbox. I am sure Tal will be glad to pin it up in his bedroom. You can see him tomorrow." The next day, everyone in Tarian's class was pleased to see PC Thomas. They always had fun in his lessons. Mrs. Cadwallader told the children that PC Thomas would be reading them a story in the afternoon. Tarian twitched his tail. He couldn't wait for lunchtime to come. Tal was very upset. Tarian saw him wipe a tear away from his sleeve. He rushed over to ask what was wrong. Tal said he was very tired because he had been woken up in the night. There had been lots of shouting downstairs, and he was sure he had heard a loud smashing noise. He had been so afraid he decided to take his adventurer's torch and hide under his bed. He felt safe under there and stayed there all night. Today Tal felt very scared and sad. Tarian said, "I'm sorry you felt afraid, Tal, but I think I can help. Do you remember what PC Thomas said last time he came to talk to us? He said, "If you are ever in trouble or you feel uncomfortable, you should talk to a grown-up you trust, like our teacher, Mrs. Cadwallader." Later that afternoon, Tarian and Tal went to talk to Mrs. Cadwallader and PC Thomas. Tarian said that Tal needed help because he was sad and scared. Tal said he felt like a little black cloud. PC Thomas said that they had done the right thing to tell a grown-up. Of course they would help. PC Thomas and Mrs. Cadwallader listened to Tal for a long time. PC Thomas told Tal that he was a brave little duck and that it wasn't his fault that one grown-up was making the other feel sad and scared all the time. PC Thomas said he would ask some people to help the grown-ups in Tal's house. Tal began to feel better. He began to think he could feel sunny again. Tarian knew that Tal had done the right thing to tell a grown-up he trusted. Later in the week, Tarian and Tal were laughing as they played football in the park. Tarian had promised to help Tal because he was his best friend. Of course, you and I know that's exactly what best friends do. In the story, Tarian encouraged his friend Tal to speak to a trusted adult about his worries. Tal said that he did not have sunny feelings, but that he felt like a little black cloud. He spoke to his teacher and his school community police officer, and they helped him. If you ever feel like Tal the duck and are worried or sad about something, you too should talk to a trusted adult. A trusted adult like a parent or carer, family member, or you can call Childline on 0800 1111. There are always grown-ups ready to help you. Thanks for listening today and stay safe.